That was really satisfying, actually. Today, I've built my very first tabling display to show you guys a comparison between my current table display. This is my table from September of 2023, and this is my table now in 2024. My name is Henry of Sticker Zoo Designs, and I just surpassed my first year of tabling. Over the course of the last year, I've done 36 different events, from various college fairs to anime conventions such as Anime Expo and SAC Anime. To commemorate the occasion, I've created my very first table display to show you guys the changes I've made so I can better optimize my setup over the last 12 months of doing this. If you're just starting your first couple tabling events, hopefully this is not too intimidating, and I can show you some tips on how you can turn your table from this to something like this. So my branding pretty much already existed since my first tabling event. As you can see, I got a banner that was green and a mint green tablecloth that I still use today. Something else I invested early on in is a table runner with my brand name on it as well. I also included a few of the items that I would typically sell. In the very beginning, I started with just stickers, button pinbacks, prints, and letters. Obviously, in hindsight, this is not the most ideal place to put a banner, because if you get a large crowd of people at your table, it's better for them to figure out who you are if your color branding isn't already speaking for you by having your banner with your handle displayed at the very top of your table. Let's get into some of the products I had back then versus some of the products I have now. So obviously in the very beginning, I started with stickers, and I still have stickers now. It's always a staple product that people want to have. I also had a few small prints of various characters with the same doodle art style that I use to draw my stickers. Since I also had a button maker at home, I was also making a lot of button pinbacks with the same sticker designs. I also started off with a couple different sticker packs, such as the Among Us ones here, 4 different sets of them, the Mousehold sticker pack, Chubby Sanrio characters, and also the buff Pokemon. So I basically took a bunch of different stickers, put them together as a set inside a baggie, added a topper, and sold that together as a set. Some products that I used to have that I don't sell anymore include letters, little envelopes as stationery, and sticker sheets as well. And the reason that I don't make them anymore is because they are not up to the standard that I want my quality of product to be these days. In the very beginning, I used a whole bunch of different animals that I would make and added them onto different color sheets and letters and sold them at a relatively low price, but I felt like it was not fitting the branding of my shop as much. However, stickers and fan art were working really well in the beginning, so I focused a lot more of my time and energy into expanding that catalog. Which brings us here today, where I have over 100 different sticker designs across different series, whether that's anime or video games. I've also phased out the old prints in lieu of these new prints. I've also expanded the catalog of my sticker packs with representation of a whole bunch of different anime that I've watched in the last year. Yes, I did watch a lot of different anime so that I could be more in tune with the community that I am in. My favorite ones being Black Clover and Mob Psycho. And because of the lighting, you might not be able to see it well, but I also do have a lot more button pinbacks. A different product line that I expanded into from when I first started was keychain charms, these ones right here, and hopefully I'll be able to do enamel pins in the upcoming year soon. Essentially though, the way I chose which keychains I wanted to be made was based off the top selling stickers. That way I could cater to the needs of people who, if they liked a certain design, they could not only have it as a sticker, but also as a keychain charm. Okay, now let's get into what I used to display my first table and what I use now to display my most updated table. In the beginning, I created this pegboard using different items from Lowe's. I got a pegboard, painted it white, different wood pieces as well, attached it onto the back using screws, and that way I could display different sticker packs using a self-serve method with these different hooks that I bought from Amazon. I am a fan of the self-serve display if you're trying to conduct transactions that are a lot smoother and quicker, especially if you're at a night market or college fair where you are offered the real estate to do so. I would recommend having a display that is self-serve rather than where you have to grab it from the back. But in the typical artist alley display, you aren't offered that much real estate at a 6-foot table. So it is better to just display your product and grab it for the people in the back. To display the letters and stationery, I use this staircase acrylic stand thing. Again, I bought from Amazon and clipped it to this wire frame. It's very, very janky. I honestly don't know how I did this. It It is not a good way to display your products. Not only is it clunky, it's extremely hard to store and take apart when you're finished with your event because the wooden boards are drilled in with screws to the acrylic stand. So anytime you have a very odd and unorthodox shaped item and you're storing it, it becomes a hassle. I also had this wire grid frame, and you typically use it to store your clothes at home, but a lot of artists tend to use this for their display. I got these cheap cork boards from Daiso and used it to display some of the stickers and prints in the very beginning. These days, the skeletal structure of my display is built upon the grid cubes people typically use. I use these white ones and covered them with mint green adhesive so that they can better suit my branding. You can find a whole bunch of different ones on Amazon. The white ones are very popular, but I do know they also come in purple, blue, and pink variations as well. In order to display my sticker boards, I grabbed canvases from Michaels and attached them via adhesive Velcro strips. So as you can see, on the back are Velcro strips from the grid panel, as well as the back of these canvases typically used for acrylic painting. That way, when I'm setting up, all I have to do is place it onto the adhesive Velcro part and it stays perfectly fine all day. My keychains are also displayed in the same manner with the Velcro strips. On the front, there are these little hooks that you can get from Target, and then hanging the keychain onto the display is pretty intuitive after that. I'm a huge advocate for Velcro. I even use it to display my button pin backs. As you can see, you can attach them right onto the display and change them around if you really wanted to. If I ever made another design for something, such as the Valorant characters, I could add it right here at 12p instead of having to make an entirely new display. For the sticker packs, I use a wireframe and attached it with binder clips to the grid panels. I printed my own displays and price tags for the sticker packs and got these little buckets from Target. They happen to come in this lighter green sage color along with the white color, and since it perfectly fits in tune with my branding, I decided to get them to display the sticker packs. All I had to do was clip it onto the wireframe and then add the sticker packs into the respective bucket. That way people can grab their favorite sticker pack as a self-serve style on this side. To showcase these items, I got these acrylic stands from Temu, and they can be a little bit fragile. I have broken a couple of them while trying to fit in these little trays onto the side notches. However, these acrylic stands aren't the most tedious to store because you can take them apart after each event and put them inside your boxes without it being necessarily an unorthodox shape like the staircase one from the first display. Obviously, if we take a look back at the old display, the Daiso boards are not necessarily the most sturdy. They are held up by tape on the back. As you can see, you can literally just take them apart because it's just held up by a couple pieces of tape. The only reason this is staying up is because I have it clamped at the top. For me personally as well, these display boards weren't really customizable so that I could fit it in tune more with my branding of mint green colors. And that's why I phased them out very shortly after a few events. Two reasons I got rid of these metal wire panels is because, one, they were already really clunky and difficult to take apart. They were getting old, basically. And the second reason is because I knew that I wanted there to be an emphasis on height in my table display. And since I only had a few of these, it wasn't realistic to keep using them if I could only go up to about 2 feet of height at my table, rather than being able to optimize for 5 feet of height by buying 2 sets of the panels that I currently use. In the beginning, I also used various square trays to display my buttons, as well as the mint green buckets I mentioned earlier that I currently use for sticker packs to display some of the stickers I had on sale. Would I still display my products in this manner? Probably not, because they are flat to the table and a customer would have to walk up to your table to be able to see what the items are that they are looking at. Even having something like this isn't too bad because it is relatively at a 45-degree angle, and the average customer, if they're like 5'6" to 5'9" height and they're looking down, they can see pretty much everything without them having to be standing 3 inches away from your table. But rather, they can still see the products when they're about 4 feet away from your table as they're walking by. Now, let's talk about the signage of my old display, which isn't necessarily horrible, but there could be a lot of improvement here. For one, the branding is not there. Two, it's kind of all over the place. Like, you can kind of tell where the signs are. This one is $6 each to tell you that these prints are $6, and it is correctly labeled prints, but it doesn't look the greatest. Usually signage does better when it is higher up or all in one place. It kind of adds to the noise of the table. There are already a lot of colors going on here, and so having it in black and not an outstanding color like mint green or red, it might make any label a little difficult to read. The button display here is pretty decent. The price tags are at the top, but let me just talk about how they're displayed real quick, because this is not good at all. It's just randomly placed everywhere, like just not organized in a orderly fashion. That doesn't look appealing at all. The sticker packs here aren't so bad. The price labels are also in black as well, and they are really tiny, so it's not the easiest thing to read. These are some displays I made later on. In the very first displays, I actually don't even have the price labels on the display picture, so that is also a little confusing for people. However, these days everything is organized in a nice orderly fashion. The stickers are numbered, the buttons are numbered, and things definitely look a lot more cohesive. As for the sticker label price tags, I do have it at the very top over there, which is a plus, but I do think that maybe it is better if it is one large sign rather than two small signs. I think my philosophy going into that was if things are displayed twice or three times, people are more receptive to seeing the tags. So that's still obviously a work in progress to figure out for me. As for the button pin labels, they are in the middle of the catalog, which is not a very good thing. Normally I would have it displayed at the very top right there, and another hindrance might be the fact that it is mint green along with the rest of the display, which might make it blend in. But I will say that because everything is in the same mint green color, I do personally feel like it's a lot more cohesive than my very first display. The price labels right here might be a good reference of how I actually should make the colors of them. It's not necessarily contrasting with the mint green, but it is a lot darker, so it might help for the regular customer browsing, because there is already, again, a lot of noise with so many different colors of sticker designs here. And again, same thing for these price labels right here. Everything looks the same, so it is cohesive. I don't have it in the cloud shape though, like the very first display. Personally, I believe in a cohesive setup, but if it is actually going to be easier for customers to browse, if the price labels are more apparent, then I would obviously optimize for that instead. Now, it's not like this table display is bad or horrible or anything. Obviously, it was a start, and I'm extremely grateful for the fact that it got me from this to this. And it isn't an overnight change, of course. You can't instantly go from this at one event to this at the second event unless you have so much capital on you. But if you are just starting, please, please, please do not feel insecure about your display in any way, shape, or form. Again, this is how I looked like a year ago, and this is how my table display looks now. Huge difference, obviously, in one, not just the catalog, but overall the display and optics. If I were able to go back in time and tell my past self to immediately invest in something, it would probably be these grid panels here, and also these display acrylic stands right here. Not only are these versatile, they're really easy to display different products, from prints to stickers and other forms of stationery for you as well. At my very first display, I did have this letterboard, and it says follow at Stickerzoo Designs for a free sticker. However, as you can see, I'm losing a lot of the letters on here, and so this is not the most efficient thing to carry around, especially if you might lose the letters. I even broke the leg stand for this after having to shift it around so much within my boxes. On the other hand, for the new display, having a QR code that is flat and easy to store is something that I would recommend heavily for people to navigate to your socials. All they have to do is scan it, and all you have to say is, here's my QR code for my socials. I hope that this comparison between my first table and my most updated table was helpful. If not, maybe I'll do one again next year, and maybe this will improve a lot more in 2025. I have no idea. But without further ado, let's get to what you guys are really here for. All 421 of you. First table, you've done me well. Thank you for everything, but I have a mission to do. And his name is John C. Oh my God. That's what it's like. Ah. That was really satisfying, actually. It went better than I thought. Dude. Is this destroyed? This thing is so heavy duty, look at it. This thing is still alive. That's one way to take down a table. 1,000 likes and I'll drop kick this table. I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna actually do that. This one matters a lot more to me.